All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're going to keep it clean. Touch gloves, let's do it.
Wow, what news? Paulo Costa is out of the match against Khamzat Chimaev due to illness. The UFC has been trying to find an opponent for the Chechen for a long time, and finally did it. It was the former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman. The fight will be held in the middleweight division, but Dana White said that the winner of this fight will get a middleweight title fight against Sean Strickland. Hello everyone, Fighters with You MMA channel. In this video, I will give a prediction for the expected fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Kamaru Usman. But before the start of this video, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and like so that as many fans as possible can see this video. As I said recently, right now there is no fighter in the welterweight division who would be able to fight for the belt instead of Chimaev. A lot of people think that Dricus du Plessis can fight Ha. You seriously think that a fighter who has 3 boring wins in a row will be able to somehow overtake a fighter on a series of victories plus great popularity? For du Plessis right now, the path to a title fight is closed. Yes, I don't argue that Jared Cannonier is a good contender, but look at his resume. Who he beat of the tops, only Sean Strickland and Marvin Vettori are the tops. I agree the names are not bad, but his popularity is very weak. Khamzat can easily overtake him. As you may have understood, there are not enough contenders in the middleweight division, and Khamzat Chimaev may well come out and try to take the belt from Strickland after defeating Usman, as I think this is an ideal chance for him. If Adesanya was the champion, then it would really be worth thinking about whether to enter the octagon at all. But Strickland, let's be honest, is much lower in level, and it is much easier to fight for him than for Israel. In this video, we will try to understand whether Khamzat will be able to bring the belt to Chechnya. Lately he looks charged and ready for battle. You will find out all this by watching the video to the very end. But we will not delay and finally proceed to the sweetest part of this video, the analysis of skills. Percussion style. We start with Chimaev's striking technique, and it is immediately clear that he does not intend to flirt in this aspect, since he mainly prefers wrestling, and in terms of striking technique, he can show a good knockout. He knows how to knock out. We have seen this. Ikram Al-Sakharov, Gerald Meerschaert, and other representatives of MMA are knocked out. If Khamzat wants to test his skills in the standing position, then a fight against Kamaru is a very bad idea. Usman can catch the Chechen on some counter-action, and that's it until the hype. Chimaev, I am 100% sure, will not be able to compete with such a representative as Usman. The most that you can hope for is a random lucky punch that will hit exactly on the chin of Usman. In this case, Chimaev can show his best side. This happened in Khamzat's career when he knocked out Al-Sakharov. If you look at the statistics, then it was Ikram who was better in striking technique. Let's move on to the striking component of Kamaru Usman. If you judge it this way, then it can all be divided into 2 stages. The first is before the fight with Leon Edwards, when Kamaru looked better and better in the standing position with each fight. Knocked Colby down twice, was able to knock out Masvidal hard, even at first interrupting Leon Edwards. Look how cool his striking technique was. But after that very knockout, Kamaru was no longer the same. In the second fight, he was much more condensed than then. Leon easily interrupted the Nigerian on his hands. His practiced kicks on the body and legs flew especially well. And I don't know how to judge Kamaru specifically, since it seems that his striking skills are at a high level, but who knows, maybe he won't come back the same. Maybe everything is fine with his skills, but mentally no, it seems to me that he will think about this knockout all the time and try to block punches as much as possible and not respond. But still, I think Kamaru will be the favorites because he has much more experience. Struggle. Let's move on to wrestling skills, and this time we will start with Kamaru Usman, who has also been showing something bad lately. It became much more difficult for him to transfer his opponents. The same fighter named Jorge Masvidal defended himself from most of the attempts. Moreover, as I know, Kamaru has problems with his knees. He had them before that, but then his age allowed him to perform. But now, when he is already 36 years old, he begins to feel all that pain in the passages, and therefore, instead of translations, we can expect a boring fight near the cage. It is not worth remembering Usman from the time of the fight with Rafael dos Anjos. That time has already passed, and Kamaru's top skills in wrestling also remain there. Look at how he fought in the second fight with Leon. The Briton easily defended himself from all the transfers of the Nigerian, and in the second fight he completely transferred and made the former champion nervous. Now let's move on to the point at the expense of which Khamzat Chimaev is able to destroy Usman. As we all know very well, it will not be a secret to anyone. What I will say now is that Khamzat has been learning the basics of freestyle wrestling since early childhood, and subsequently transferred this style to MMA, where no one can resist it. Everyone breaks down when Khamzat passes into the legs or starts his killer ground and pound. Khamzat is really a beast in wrestling. Look at his last fight against Holland. So no one has fought him yet. Yes, he lost to wrestlers, but clearly not in this style. He rebuffed them. But Chimaev, as you could see for yourself, he could not do anything. It was the same in all Khamzat's fights, the transfer and the dominant beating. Only Gilbert Burns was able to stop Khamzat's pressure and give him the very rebuff, and the rest of the welterweight and middleweight representatives could not oppose the Chechen's struggle. In this case, Khamzat will be the favorites due to his young age. I think he will destroy Usman in the fight. Stamina and spirit. We start with Chimaev's stamina, and there's a lot to talk about that. Khamzat and Usman have different opposition in MMA, but Boers has not yet tried his hand at 5-round fights, so to say that Khamzat is younger and will win is stupid. Kamaru has shown his abilities, but the Chechen has not yet. As for Kamaru, we can say without a doubt that he will be better than Chimaev. He has more 5-round fights than Khamzat, has early victories, and as you have already understood, Usman will be the favorites. As for the spirit, here without hesitation Khamzat, and I think you understand why. Forecast. In this fight, Khamzat Chimaev will defeat Usman. The former champion comes out on short notice. It is very dangerous. Chimaev will simply destroy him.